Welcome one and all to the Indonesia arena for the first ever World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics to take place in Southeast Asia. It's a pleasure to have your company for the opening day of finals and the men's all-around competition. Before starting our televised coverage of these history-making championships, we take a moment to acknowledge the sadness in this beautiful country over the recent loss of Naufal Takdir Al-Bari, an Indonesian gymnast who died after a training accident last month. This promising and vivacious young man was preparing to compete at what would have been his home World Championships, and his absence is strongly felt not just by the people of Indonesia, but by the whole gymnastics family. Gymnasts are sports people. They are entertainers. But first and foremost, just like all of us, they are human beings. And we feel the absence of one of them. We will not forget him. His name is Naufal Takdir Al-Bari. May his rest be a peaceful one. The men's all-around final is about to take place at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. What a joy it is to be in beautiful Jakarta in Indonesia. This multicultural place, this place of so many languages, now even more of them. The gymnasts of the world are here to entertain you. Congratulations to everyone who's made it to this final. A huge accomplishment. The action's going to get underway very soon. Here are your finalists and the top performer in qualification. Goodness, there's a surprise. Hashimoto Daiki of Japan going for 3 in a row. Can you imagine what an accomplishment it would be? We also have the reigning Olympic champion here as well, Oka Shinnosuke of Japan, but he's right down the order, qualified only in 12th position. What about Zhang Boheng of the People's Republic of China? What about any of them? What about Noe Seifert of Switzerland? We've got some serious contenders, and we're going to bring them out for you in just a moment. The Indonesia arena is ready. Bright lights, big occasion, great opportunity to shine in front of the eyes of the world. We have, for the first time ever, got 6 groups competing in a men's final. Rather than traditional 4 apparatus format, all 6 apparatus are going to be in operation. So only 4 athletes in each group. And that will make for an interesting look to our coverage. So these are the gymnasts who qualified as the top performers. Or a correction to that, these are the gymnasts who are starting on pommel horse, the second highest qualifiers. We started with Shi Cong, a champion of Asia in all-around competition. Then we have the reigning 3-time Pan-American all-around champion, Caio Souza of Brazil. European Championship silver medalist, Switzerland's Florian Langenegger. And Olympic medalist and Colombian history maker, Angel Barajas. So once more for clarification, these are the gymnasts who will start on the pommel horse, the second highest performers in qualification. Celebrating his 23rd birthday today, 2-time World University Games medalist from the Republic of Korea, Ryu Sang-hyun. The man himself, the reigning Olympic all-around champion, the one and only Oka Shinnosuke of Japan. The reigning 2-time all-around champion of Finland, Robert Girmes. Two-time youth Olympic medalist, Brazil's Diogo Soares. Those are the 3rd highest qualifiers. They'll start on the rings. Your top qualifier and the man eyeing 3 all-around world titles in a row, Japan's Hashimoto Daiki. Oh, crikey. 20-year-old Daniel Marinov, the 4th best in qualification. From the People's Republic of China, a world champion in all-around competition and the runner-up at the last Olympics is Zhang Boheng. Aiming to be the Swiss who cannot miss, it's two-time European Championship medalist Noe Seifert. We've got no team competition here in Jakarta, but will this be a Timo competition? It's Junior World Championship medalist Timo Eder from Germany. The man who makes us all go, vive le futur, France's Junior European Champion, Anthony Monsard. The gentleman who won all-around bronze at the European Championships earlier this year, Hungary's Krisztofer Meszaros. European Championship medalist, Spain's Tierno Diallo. Those are the gymnasts who are the fourth highest in qualification. They will start on vault. But we've got 6 groups. Two-time Youth Olympic Games medalist, Ukraine's Vladislav Hriko. Medalist at the Nordic Championships, Iceland's Dago Olafsson. What a privilege to have the reigning all-around champion of Africa, Egypt's Omar Mohamed, in this final. Multiple Nordic champion and a medalist at the Northern European Championships, Sebastian Spornevik of Norway. And this is the last group. They were the 5th highest in qualification. Joel Plata, European Championship and Mediterranean Games medalist, the Spaniard. The winner of the all-around gold medal at the most recent Pan American Games, Canada's Felix Dulcie. And the continental champions keep on coming. Jessie Moore, the reigning Oceanian champion. From Finland, but an undergraduate at Pennsylvania State University in the USA, and that means a lot. Akseli Kassikas of Finland. There they are, your runners and riders, and congratulations to all of them on making it through to this most prestigious of occasions. Some of the women who will be competing in the all-around final tomorrow, watching on, now enjoying being spectators, as are you wherever in the world you call home. My name's Ollie Hogben, and I am delighted to have your company. I'm also delighted to have the company of Blythe Lawrence alongside me. Blythe, take us through it.
There has been a lot of speculation about this one, and most of it has focused around the Olympic champions from Japan and Zhang Boheng of the People's Republic of China. But Oka Shinnosuke has been ill this week, and it really affected him in the qualification. It's actually quite a testament to his talent that he finished in the top 12 after a rather disastrous performance on floor exercise. Now, Hashimoto Daiki had no such problems. He was the top qualifier, but he too has left himself some room to improve here, particularly on floor exercise, which is where we're going to see him first. And then, of course, there are some wild cards to consider. Noe Seifert of Switzerland, for example, a true generalist without a weak apparatus when he hits, and he did hit all 6 in qualification. The question with him could be whether he can do it again, especially on high bar, which is an apparatus that has given him major problems in the past. And then expanding outward, there are several who could contend. The experienced Shi Cong of China, the all-around newcomers like Angel Barajas of Colombia, and maybe even someone like Caio Souza of Brazil, or even Felix Dulcie of Canada. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting.
Basically everyone, then.
Exactly, everyone.
What a fantastic synopsis. Thank you for that. And as always, we Wait to see if any of it comes true. But there are lots of fascinating permutations. One of them is that we actually have the horizontal bar in play from the first rotation, which we're not used to in a gentleman's all-around final. And for those of you who are just joining the coverage now, it is a new format that we have smaller groups. We've got only 4 in each group, so all 6 apparatus in operation. It used to be that we had 6 groups, 4 groups of 6. I knew I'd get that wrong. It used to be that we had 4 groups of 6. Now we have 6 groups of 4. It'll all make sense. We begin where we ended last time, with this gentleman, Hashimoto Daiki, the top performer in qualification and the reigning 2-time champion, going for 3 in a row. It has been done by someone from his country, of course, the great Uchimura Kohei. Zhang Boheng will contend. He was the 3rd best in qualification, the runner-up in the all-around competition at the Olympiad in Paris. He's also been the champion of the world in Japan, won it in Kitakyushu in 2021. Fabulous gymnast. Very well-liked young man as well, very modest. Great proponent of sporting spirit. He wants to win, but he doesn't want others to do badly. He's very entertaining in his rivalry with Hashimoto Daiki, but it's a sporting rivalry. Now, Oka Shinnosuke, Blythe, he's been a little poorly.
He has. He's been ill leading up to these championships, and like I said before, it definitely affected his performance in the qualification round. It started out all right. It came apart on floor exercise.
It's interesting that we're going to see this gentleman first on floor, because this is the one place where he has room to improve his score, really improve his score, compared to qualification. And he was the top qualifier anyway. 12.3 on this apparatus in the preliminary round. If he delivers what we know he can deliver, he could do that very rare thing of shaking up the entire picture with the very first performance that anyone delivers on this apparatus. Over to the Olympic champion from Tokyo and the reigning 2-time all-around champion of the world. It's right that he begins. Hashimoto Daiki, the top qualifier, but he scored only 12.3 on this apparatus in qualification. Can he improve?
And he's already improved. That was where he had problems in the preliminary, on the front double pike. And he hasn't been the only one that we've seen difficulties on that particular element on floor exercise. Two and a half twist to front layout is his 3rd pass, and now he moves into his Wendeschwings. He's very precise, as he is on every apparatus. And this is something relatively new for him, the Y scale. Earlier this year, the scale became obligatory on floor exercise, and actually it isn't anymore, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. Great finish for Hashimoto.
I think that might score better than 12.3, just by a fraction or 2.
I think you may be right.
What a lovely start from Hashimoto Daiki. He has said he likes to use tension to create energy. He certainly channeled that tension from qualification very successfully into this final. We're now with the 2nd strongest performers in qualification. Shi Cong of the People's Republic of China. He scored 13.366 in qualifying, 5th best overall. Watch out for him. He could really make a run for the podium.
He's a bit of a sleeper candidate, somebody who shows up and always looks very well prepared. And this entry into this exercise has been just impeccable. And he just sort of hangs in there every apparatus. And you find him when he's on near the top of the leaderboard, and most of the time he is on.
He's a very technically accomplished gymnast, and that was a lovely demonstration of it from Shi Cong, the 24-year-old from the east of China and the city of Suzhou. He has a collection of medals from the Kitakyushu Championships in 2021.
His basic circle work is really good. What the gymnast is trying to do is keep their body completely extended and not pike those circles down. He does that well.
Won the silver medal in the all-around competition at the National Championships in May in Nanning with a much lower score than in the qualification round here. It will take a little while for the picture to become clear. But one thing we do expect is for there to be quite a big chasing pack. Now. What are we going to see from this gentleman? Here he is, the reigning Olympic all-around champion, Oka Shinnosuke of Japan, but only the 12th best in qualification. He has been feeling under the weather, but if he's in the final, frankly, he's dangerous. You don't win an Olympic all-around title by accident.
And we talk a lot about what happened in qualification, but in terms of the medal picture here tonight, it doesn't matter. The scores have been wiped clean. So he's off to an entirely new start. It's a very nice inverted cross in the handstand position. The iron cross elements, including the one he just showed us, have gone up in value in the code of points that entered into force in January. So we're going to be seeing more of that. It's been very good so far.
That was an extremely fine landing from Oka Shinnosuke. Now, we're only really going to know how he's getting on when we proceed into the second half of the competition, because that's where the issues were in qualification, particularly on floor, which will be his second to last apparatus. But that was not exactly a shabby start. 13.9, yes, that'll do. Up by 1.6 from qualification. Hashimoto Daiki in pursuit of 3 in a row. Jolly well means business. Here's a bright and impressive young man. 20-year-old Daniel Marinov. He was the 4th best in qualification. 13.4 on floor.
There's lovely attention to detail in everything that he does. We'll be looking particularly at the way he lands these tumbling passes. Not bad. Every little step or hop that we see like that is likely to cost the gymnast between perhaps 1/10 of a point to 3/10 of a point. The judges are also paying particular attention to the way that the gymnasts move in and out of the corners. That is new in this code of points. They want to see crispness and they want to see sharpness and some originality. 2.5 twist side pass, once again, giving away a 1/10 or 2 with the step on the landing.
A secure-looking start from Daniel Marinov, the 20-year-old who is in this top group of qualifiers.
With the way that he moves through the air, there really are no issues. Wonderful layout position on the double twisting front somersault that he combines well into that double front in the tuck position. But with almost every pass, there was a little step or a little hop, and you can kind of imagine the 10th slipping away.
13.5. Shi Cong is up by just over a 1/10 from qualification. Vault is where he will really be aiming to make up the numbers. He scored 12.366 in qualifying. That will be his 3rd apparatus. Those of you who watched the European Championships in Leipzig early this year will have seen the most buoyant of Swiss teams. They won a silver medal, a brilliant accomplishment. Florian Langenegger, a big part of it. Could he mount a quest for an individual medal here? 7th best in qualification. Good luck to him.
Solid scissor to handstand to begin this routine. He has very nice clearance above the horse with his hips. Let's see if he can maintain that throughout this exercise. He'll want to keep his legs perfectly together as well throughout all of these circles. The traveling circle is a requirement on pommel horse. Just a slight hesitation into his dismount.
22-year-old Florian Langenegger from the far northeast of Switzerland and the settlement of Bühler. That is a compelling beginning. Oka Shinnosuke, 14.066. He has gained half a mark from qualification. Daniel Marinov, 13.733. He's gained a third of a mark compared to qualifying. Interesting beginning. By and large, we're seeing better numeracy. He enjoys a challenge, does this one. Zhang Boheng, great gymnast to watch. From Changsha in Hunan province in the People's Republic of China. The reigning all-around champion from the Asian Games in Hangzhou. He missed the World Championships to attend that competition, which clashed due to the rearrangement of events coming out of the pandemic. Very important event for the Chinese, the Asian Games at home in Hangzhou. Won the all-around title, now he's back for more World Championship action. And he's not looking bad so far.
It's been a very strong start. One of the reasons that he is so successful is because his routines are just packed with difficulty, like that rather casual triple twist done as a side pass. And he can handle that amount of difficulty.
We have a score. Langenegger 13.4.
The gymnasts have been encouraged to do different types of things into each corner before their tumbling passes. Round off double pike to end. Very, very good.
He's not just a very good gymnast, he's a very brave one as well. When he was 16, he broke his leg in training. It was an extremely bad injury. He had the choice whether to go further or whether to walk away, and he decided, in his own words, it was time to stop playing around, time to push himself. He said that he realized that gymnastics could be a life for him and not just a thing for fun. Says he still has psychological scars from that injury, and who wouldn't, enduring that at such a young age. Florian Langenegger, 13.4 on the pommel horse. That's a small improvement from qualification of just under 0.2. To the hero of a nation. And rightly so. And frighteningly so, still only 19. I think he is going to make life very difficult for a lot of gymnasts in the future. He is getting better and better and better. The one and only Angel Barajas from Colombia, silver medalist on the horizontal bar at the Olympic Games in Paris, and the 6th best in qualifying.
And he is a fine all-arounder, in addition to being really good on horizontal bar as well as on parallel bars. And he's demonstrating that with this beautiful flare sequence.
What a good save.
Yes. How did he get the momentum back? It looked like he was coming off. And again, he powers up into the handstand.
Well done, young man. Great fight from Angel Barajas. He's got a bit of a tough job in this final because he begins with his 2 weakest apparatus in the all-around program. Zhang Boheng, 13.6 on floor. He makes a gain of hundredths from qualification. There's a really clear upwards trend going on already. Here is someone who needs to stay cool because he is absolutely a contender. And all of you Noe Seifert fans out there, you stay cool as well because it's going to be a long competition, but your lad is very much in the mix. Second best in qualification, the reigning four-time all-around Swiss champion. Great gymnast.
And in these first few tumbling passes, we will be able to get a sense of where he is psychologically. So far, he looks dead on.
And horizontal wins Egypt's Mohammed.
He has many wonderful qualities as a gymnast. He's very light on his feet. His technique is excellent. There's a calmness, and yet there's also a kind of deliberateness to his work.
That's extremely well put.
Just in the way that he handled that Y scale and stepped back into the corner, you can see how practiced even those parts of the floor routine have been.
Well done to hold that at the end. That was more than a touch on the compressed side. Got up, and now he just breaks into a relaxed and relieved looking grin. Noe Seifert, in his spare time, he loves to make things out of Lego, and he may well have the building blocks for a serious run at the all-around competition.
There's a lovely sense of contained explosiveness in that routine. Well done.
That's an excellent score from Barajas, 13.3. He is almost a full mark up from qualification. Now he goes to rings, and after that, in many ways, he can breathe a sigh of relief and get on with the things he loves as a gymnast, because he's got the parallel bars and the horizontal bar to come. Timo Eder of Germany, the 20-year-old, makes his senior world championship debut, but he won a medal at the junior world championships a couple of years ago.
And what a beautifully stuck Kasamatsu with 1.5 twists.
That's a very elegant beginning from Timo Eder. He scores 13.9. It's just 1/10 lower than qualification. Does pick up that 0.1 bonus, the stick bonus, as it is colloquially known for gymnasts who, in almost all of the men's apparatus, do not move their feet upon the landing. That's of the final skill, or in the case of vault, the skill. We'll come back on to that later for those of you who are not as familiar with the stick bonus and some of the changes that have happened to the code of points since the last Olympiad, and indeed since the Championships of the World in Antwerp in 2023. Something that's happened since then is the emergence of this young man. There is a lot to like about Anthony Monsard. He's still only 18. The junior European all-around champion last year. And he won a bronze medal on the horizontal bar at the Senior European Championships in Leipzig earlier this year. Very impressive. He was the 16th best in qualification. That looks better than qualifying.
Absolutely. It's very interesting seeing this vault back-to-back with what we just saw from Timo Eder. The same skill, and really meticulously done.
14, it was actually almost half a mark better. 13.633 in the preliminary round. Hope you're enjoying all of the action so far. He'll enjoy that score. Noe Seifert, 13.866. He's just over 2/10 up from the preliminary round. We are 1/6 of the way there in this men's all-around final at the World Championships in Jakarta. That's the first sprint of this marathon completed, and we'll let you know how the intermediary standings are looking once the judges have finished their final calculations. They are sitting there supporting Ryu Sang-hyun. Let's just have a look back at some of the other moments from this rotation, starting with Plata of Spain. He was in the fifth highest group of qualifiers.
Good underarmor to start his routine. On that field, he perhaps waited just a little bit too long. We'll take a slight deduction. I just want to see fluidity with that. And when we talk about people who could be contenders, we can't rule him out. Lovely double front half dismount.
He's a gymnast who has a real style to his work. Angel Barajas, very experienced, 27, born in Barcelona, now based in Madrid. 13.8 is his score, exactly the same as qualification. After the opening rotation, Oka Shinnosuke, the Olympic champion, is in the lead. Hashimoto Daiki of Japan, an improvement on qualification, 11 on the pommel horse in the preliminary round, 12.466 here. It is, by his own admission, that apparatus very much his least favourite. He said that to you in an interview.
He called it his Achilles heel.
Which was a deliberate turn of phrase from a gentleman who struggled with his Achilles, and he was attempting a little wryness there. He's a very bright individual, is Caio Souza, and a lovely chap as well. He loves community engagement, does Caio Souza. He'll be engaging with the rings first of all before he thinks about his local community, but he thinks it's really important for athletes to play their part in the homes that they keep increasingly infrequently when the season kicks off and they start to travel all over the world to various World Cup events and Continental Championships and obviously the World Championships.
The Brazilians have actually been on the road for about a month. They left Brazil, did a training camp in Europe, competed at the World Challenge Cup in Sombate, and then have come here finally.
That's the thing that any athlete has to learn, isn't it? To actually be on the road, to be able to perform in your training gym or your local competition or your national competition is one thing, but to be able to do it actually living out of a suitcase, living with jet lag, living with a change of diet, living with all of the things that come with being out there on the international circuit, walking into an unfamiliar arena, dealing with different climates. They're all things that athletes have to learn to manage.
And when we talk about this particular World Championships and some of the mistakes that we saw from the men in qualification, some of the gymnasts were saying that jet lag potentially was a factor. It's been a long haul to get here for many of them.
Wherever you hold a World Championships, it will intrinsically benefit some and intrinsically not benefit others. Probably the gymnasts from Oceania will be thinking, finally, finally we don't have the longest flight. We're going to begin the second of 6 rotations. Great to have you with us. And great to see what will happen now as the top group of qualifiers heads to the infamous pommel horse. Daniel Marinov will begin.
He just flies up to handstand on that scissor. Shows great flexibility as well in the opening movements.
He's an interesting one, Daniel Marinov, because he might be one of those gymnasts where not one single one of his individual performances stands out as head and shoulders above everyone. But when you add up all of the numbers, you might find he's done a lot better than you think.
And that was certainly the case in qualification. He does catch the eye for many reasons. His form, his toe point.
As you said, very precise, very technically secure. There's a real opportunity now for Oka Shinnosuke to open up his lead over the chasing pack. 12th best in qualifying. Now he goes to vault, 13.933 in the preliminary round. Here's the reigning Olympic all-around champion. That's, oh goodness, I thought he was going to go over there. Well, I was going to say that's extremely well performed. Then I paused as I thought he was about to pitch forwards, but he's okay.
What it looks like happened is he was just trying to control the landing and minimize the deduction. It's not bad in the air. The legs might be just a little bit straighter, but it's well rotated and it's central in line. And what he's trying to do there is not take that second hop, which he knows is going to cost him another 1/10 of a point.
Turns 22 in about a week's time. Oka Shinnosuke. Anthony Monsard, second best. Joint second best with Hashimoto Daiki after the first rotation. Nice gymnast on this apparatus. 13.566 in qualification. Can he get the numbers up a little? He was the 16th best in the preliminary round. This is very early for him in his career.
It is. Just last year, he was competing at the Junior European Championship and did very well there. But the senior category is a different thing. And he's been sent out to various competitions this year and really to be tested. And he's passed everything with flying colors. He came away with a bronze medal on high bar from the European Championships. And he is so talented. And he's handled everything beautifully. There's a lot to like about this young gymnast.
What a delicate and controlled performance from Anthony Monsard of France. Lovely to watch, just lovely. 13.6 for Daniel Marinov. Again, that's a gain of about 1/3 of a mark from qualifying. Just like his first display, he was the 4th best overall in qualification. Zhang Boheng, 13.6 in his first performance. That was over on floor. It was a little improvement from the preliminary round. He could stand to pick up some marks here, 13.233 in qualifying.
Just like on every apparatus, he's capable of bringing in a very big number. This routine is really built around circles. Nice traveling circle, and he actually brushes his legs against the pommel. He'll lose a few 1/10 of a point for that, but he's so determined. He doesn't let that disrupt anything.
It was extraordinary, the lack of interruption to his kinetic energy that came from that brush.
The brushing of the apparatus with the body normally costs 5/10 of a point. He did well not to have that deduction be increased by coming off.
Such a small thing, isn't it? And yet so costly to the score. But as you say, he saved it, and I'm going to come to one of my tried and tested mantras as 13.466 is the score for Oka Shinnosuke, 4.8 difficulty score. So that was lower actually than the difficulty score he was indicating. He had a 5.2 come up on the vault board. Florian Langenegger, 13.4 in the first rotation. That was on the pommels. 12.366 for this apparatus in qualifying. This was his lowest score.
And this is going to be his weakest apparatus from a difficulty standpoint. He gets his difficulty through swinging elements, like the Yamawaki to Yonason combination, but it doesn't have some of the really intricate difficulty that taxes the upper body.
It's the sort of routine from an all-around perspective that's really about cleanliness, isn't it? Just getting that maximized as best as possible, knowing you don't have a huge difficulty score.
He'll definitely want to maximize the E-score, and he does. It's a nice exercise. It's really just the question of putting in potentially in the future another really big strength element or two.
I saw a flag there that was representing Dunaújváros in Hungary, which is a famous gymnastics city. The steel capital, I believe, of Hungary, if my knowledge of Hungarian industry serves me. I don't know if I have a knowledge of Hungarian industry, but I think it is, I'm quite sure. Zhang Boheng, 13.7. That's a big improvement, almost half a mark up from qualification. That could be very crucial for him. He's got the horizontal bar coming up at the end, of course, as has he. Noe Seifert, compelling start on floor. This was one of his stronger apparatus in the preliminary round, 14. Big test of the composure of any gymnast.
And he was composed on floor exercise. That's really the word for the routine that he showed us. The question now is going to be, can he maintain that sense of focus and performance? He's a little bit cautious in the Busnari, really picked his way through it. And now he can be a bit more aggressive with the flares.
Yes, if there was caution in the Busnari, it was thrown to the wind when he went into that flare sequence, wasn't it?
A way of expressing relief, perhaps.
And a way, probably, of earning a pretty decent score. Noe Seifert has made a strong beginning. That's 1/3 done, and 1/3 done very well.
Again, a very concentrated, composed bit of gymnastics. And then he just unleashed on the flares.
He'll finish on the horizontal bar where he put his hands down at the European Championships in Leipzig when he was contending for a place on the podium, maybe even for the title. Anthony Monsart, 13.466. That's a drop of 1/10 from qualification. Overall, it's a net gain for him. And there he is. Florian Langenegger, 12.4. It's a small improvement. He's picked up a few hundreds, but only a 3.7 for difficulty. So he's limited by what he can do with that at the moment. Angel Barajas started with a good-looking 13.3 on the pommel horse. Now to the rings, where he scored 12.866 in qualification. Just to remind you, he was the 6th best qualifier overall.
If you watched his program at the Junior World Championships 2 years ago, you would have said, wow, he's fantastic, but he needs to improve on still rings. And a bit on pommel horse. We saw a great routine, frankly, as an opener. And this routine as well, he's certainly added difficulty. Does a nice job freezing the handstand of the giant.
He's made a really good start, Angel Barajas. Talks to his mum, Angelica, before every competition. She raised him as a single mother. 14, Noe Seifert. He's doing really well. Exactly the same as qualification for that performance. Hashimoto Daiki. 14 on floor. Looks as though that score was raised because I think we initially saw it as a 13.9.
And this is an important moment for him because in his battles in the past with Zhang Boheng, it has sometimes gone awry for Hashimoto on pommel horse. If he can get through this routine cleanly, he will see himself in very good stead for what is to come. So far, it's been great. But what a save that was. Oh, goodness. He nearly came off.
Yes, he's really working hard to keep this routine going. He has kept it going, and he's actually dismounted beautifully. That was a near miss from Hashimoto Daiki, but he's all right.
That's what world champions do.
How often we say, in an all-around competition, it often comes down to what you save, not what you lose. He saved a lot there.
It was right there, his right wrist just buckling a little bit, and somehow he just kept on.
It's interesting. I'll just come back to that in a moment as we see 12.933 for Angel Barajas, an improvement from qualifying. I talked about his wonderful mum, Angelica. We also have to acknowledge his older brother, Jason, who worked in a pizzeria to support the family and help pay for his training when he was a young man. They all worked so hard as a family to make sure that Angel Barajas could do what he does so well. And now he's thriving on the international stage. Shi Cong now takes to the rings.
He begins with a backward roll to iron cross, and that position in between the inverted iron cross in the handstand and the one that he showed us earlier is known as the Maltese position. We see it a lot. It's very valuable when it comes to the difficulty on still rings. And once again, another roll to an iron cross. And that's the easiest element in the exercise, but he does take a significant deduction.
Yes, just a little problem towards the end of that routine from Shi Cong, who started with 13.5 on the pommel horse.
He got through most of this really well. The Jonasson and then the forward roll into the iron cross. The dismount, double twisting, double layout was really good too.
Hashimoto, 13.966. It's not quite as high as the 14.133 in qualification, but it will do nicely. Just to return to what I was saying earlier, we saw a couple of gymnasts just sitting, watching, and it's always interesting because when you watch this on television, when we watch it in the arena, it feels like it's a whirlwind. It goes past so quickly. Gymnasts often say it feels like they're out there forever in an all-round final and they're doing nothing. Because indeed, most of the time, they just sit there watching and waiting. To Ryu Sang-hyun, happy birthday, sir. 23 today. Quite low as he landed and stepping very pronounced out of bounds.
It's a very ambitious vault. It's known as a handspring Randy to handspring, going forwards onto the table, and then a front layout with 2.5 twists.
13.466 is his score. It is up from qualification.
And also he takes 0.3 of a point in penalty for going outside the red tram lines.
Nonetheless, he still deserves a cake. Shares his birthday actually with Lee Jun-ho, one of his teammates. Jesse Moore, what a great gymnast he is.
The pride of Oceania, the reigning Oceania all-around champion. Competed at the Olympics in Paris, made the all-around final there as well. Stalder and Kachev to immediate Ginger. Nice combination. He's got such promise. Layout Kachev. Cleanly through. And then a little hop full. Just for good measure. Here comes the dismount. Double twisting, double layout.
Very enjoyable from Jesse Moore of Australia. He's still so young. You're right to remind us all of the promise. He's been around for quite a while internationally, but yet he's so young. Now, 13.9 is a very interesting number for Jesse Moore, and I'll tell you why. It's because in qualifying, he scored 12.333. He was the 19th best qualifier. And these all-around finals are very beguiling when you look at the overall qualification standings. Some people qualify with a fairly solid series of marks across the board. Some qualify with one area where they can really pick up a mark or two, or even three. Those ones are the ones to really watch. Shi Cong, 13.466. He's in 10th position at the moment. Now he has got parallel bars and horizontal bar to come later. We've made it to the 1/3 mark of the men's all-around final. Hashimoto Daiki is up 1 place into the lead. Noe Seifert, big mover, along with Jesse Moore, who's up 5 positions. Joint 4th with Anthony Monsar. Very interesting. Oka Shinnosuke is there or thereabouts. Caio Souza's up 7 positions. Florian Langenegger has dropped down 6 positions. Still a long way to go. It's a very interesting picture so far. I'm not sure it's a picture. It might actually be more like a jigsaw puzzle that someone hasn't finished doing. I was dreadful at jigsaws. Were you any good at them as a child?
Not particularly, no.
I never had the patience. My mum always used to say to me, start with the corners. I wanted to attack the middle of the picture straight away.
Sage advice.
Now we've got, going to the vaulting table, the gymnasts who were the third, or rather the second best in qualification. It's their third apparatus. Particularly interesting to watch there will be Florian Langenegger, who's a very nice vaulter. He could move right back up again. Robert Kirmes of Finland will get things started on the parallel bars. We're going to see Oka Shinnosuke, and he was very impressive in qualification on the parallel bars. 14.5 his number. Horizontal bar, Anthony Monsar will be the last to go, and he was the European Championship bronze medalist on the apparatus earlier in the year. We're going to start with Jesse Moore on floor in that particular group. And over on the pommel horse, we'll have the history-making representative from Iceland. Congratulations to Dago Olofsson on his qualification for this final. Brilliant accomplishment. Anyone who makes it into a World Championship all-around final, it's something that almost no athlete will ever get to experience. Puts them in a very select group. Zhang Boheng on the rings. 14.6 in qualification. This was his single best routine of the entire preliminary phase. Might be not so much a case of what he can gain, but what he can hold on to if he can perform at that level again.
If he just does what he can do on still rings, he is likely to advance upward out of 7th place at the end of this rotation. As on all apparatus except vault, gymnasts perform 8 skills on the still rings, including the dismount. And that is down from 10 in the last Olympic cycle.
That will get the job done. Glorious from Zhang Boheng. What is it that makes him so compelling on that apparatus?
I would say that it is the difficulty. It's always the difficulty, but it's the way that he delivers it. He's almost casual in doing very, very hard things.
Jesse Moore has put himself into contention. Now he goes to the floor. He scored 12.1 in qualification. Certainly can do a lot more.
Authoritative beginning with the front layout full twist to front double pike. And then here's a variation of that. A double full twist to double front in the tuck position. Those are 2 very difficult passes. And then he does this lovely sequence of flares up through the handstand and down, and then just a bit of break dance at the end. Very stylish. There's his scale. It's well handled. And just a note on the scale, It was obligatory at the beginning of the year that all gymnasts had to do some sort of scale. But now the technical committee of the International Gymnastics Federation has actually sent out a list of 10 other elements that a gymnast can do in place of a scale.
Oh, what a save at the end.
Oh, goodness.
Goodness. That's an extraordinary bit of rescue work from Jessie Moore. Well, he had a bit of, as you say, braking earlier on in his routine. He might be breaking into the top group of contenders with this performance because he's really improved from qualification.
In Paris, in the all-around final, he was on course to record the highest finish by a gymnast from Oceania ever. Didn't quite get there.
14.6, Zhang Boheng. Exactly the same as qualification. That's what we said the goal would be in that routine. No need to try to gain anything when you've already got a 14.6 on rings. Noe Seifert, he's really performing well. Second place at the 1/3 mark. This was his weakest score in qualifying, 13.2.
And let's see what he opts to do here. It's a good iron cross to open. Bjornsson and Yamawaki, much like what we saw from his teammate Florian Langenegger.
Well, Noe Seifert is absolutely, unquestionably in the picture at the halfway stage. It's just a matter of how high he can get this number on the rings.
Like Langenegger, he doesn't really have the difficulty to get himself a massive number on this apparatus, and that is likely why we only saw 13.2 from him in qualification.
13.466 for Jessie Moore. That is an improvement of a mark and a third from qualification. On vault, Florian Langenegger scored 13.933 in qualification. Will he move back up the standings?
And that's a very good shoe felt, the Yurchenko-style vault with 2.5 twists. Round off onto the springboard, back handspring on, and then 2.5 off.
13.8, almost exactly the same as qualification. .066, Noe Seifert, a little down from qualifying it. Only just over a 10th, he's still right up there. He has seen the challengers step forward. Can he stay in the lead? Hashimoto Daiki to the rings, 13.433 in qualification. The gymnast who has been 5 times consecutively the all-around champion of Japan, with arguably the deepest field in the world in one single national championships to contend with on a year-by-year basis.
Kip to Maltese right away in this exercise, and he pulls into another one. There is the strength of Hashimoto Daiki.
Caio Souza.
He's looked impenetrable. What about the dismount? Double twisting, double layout, drops out of the sky.
It was in Stuttgart in 2019 that we saw this bright, impressive high school student performing at the World Championships. A remarkable thing. First for goodness knows how long to perform for the national team of Japan while still at high school. Even then, even though things didn't go completely right in Stuttgart, it was clear that he had a lot of promise. That promise came quicker than most expected. Angel Barajas now performing on vault. He's made a really strong start. Get through this vault and now he can look forward to the parallel bars and the horizontal bar and maybe a big move up the leaderboard. What's he got in store for us?
Round off entry. It's a shoe felt. He's a little bit short at the end and will probably lose about half a point just for the landing.
13.566. He does have a single penalty 10th. He's in 6th position, which is exactly where he was in qualification. He was very central, but there's the 10th he takes. Timo Eder, well and truly in the top 10 coming into this rotation. Now he goes to the horizontal bar where he scored 13.033 in qualification.
Germany is really undergoing a generational shift when it comes to their men's program, and many are looking at Timo Eder as the leader, potentially, of the new team. Lovely Liukin to begin. Just a little leg separation in the second part of that, but it's a very difficult skill. And now he's winding up for Kovac, done in the tuck position. He swings with a nice amount of power, but there's finesse there as well as he completes his endo, very taxing on the shoulders. Triple back.
He performed a very nice Liukin. I think the whole thing was pretty good Liukin. That was a super routine from Timo Eder. Hashimoto Daiki, 13.566. He's in the silver medal position. We have had a change at the top of the leaderboard. Zhang Boheng is number 1. Daniel Marinov, 6th place, just lying below those top contenders, but one that we daren't take our eyes off. This was his weakest element in the preliminary stage, 12.466. He might have a very good finish, though. He might really push up because of what he can do on vault, parallel bars and horizontal bar.
It's a very elegant kip press handstand to begin. His basics are exceptionally good. Just a little subflexion of the shoulders in the giant to handstand. That's a very simple routine, very simple for this level.
And ultimately, it's about just getting every last tenth squeezed out of the execution as best he can, but it's not going to be a huge number. Well, the picture's looking a little different now for Oka Shinnosuke even, compared to qualification. He's in 3rd place. He was the 12th best qualifier. This is the reigning Olympic all-around champion, and he's about to be in his element.
This is the one apparatus that really went right for him in qualification. It was also the second one that he performed. And right away with these beautiful controlled underswing elements, he's showing what he is capable of. Uprise, and he holds that position so long before kicking into the front straddle somi. Lovely smooth Bahardwaj. Oh, not Bahardwaj, excuse me, Bavsar. Went from parallel bars to uneven bars. Just a moment there, and we're back with the Tapelt.
Well, this performance is no holds barred from Oka Shinnosuke because he's looking extremely tidy. And that is wonderful gymnastics from your Olympic champion. At the Olympic Games in Paris, he won the all-around title with a bad back. because he had to change his bed because the cardboard frame had sagged because his bathwater leaked. Timo Eder, 13.533. That's half a mark up from qualification. Here is a young man who's a pleasure to watch on this apparatus. Well, he's a pleasure to watch on all apparatus. Anthony Monsard of France, bronze medalist at his first senior European Championships in Germany earlier this year. He's also the junior European champion on this apparatus from the year before.
One thing that's so impressive about him, even though he's so young, is that he really takes his time. He seems quite reflective, quite serious about visualization. He didn't rush to get up on the bar there. And we're seeing the result. Lovely Coleman, full twisting double tuck over the bar. Now we'll see a Cassina. The same thing in the laid out position, nicely done. So much of horizontal bar is about timing. Just calibrating the releasing catch. Does it well. Dismount, double twisting, double layout.
Joyous from Anthony Monsard. Such a prospect. Daniel Marinov, 12.2, 3.1 for difficulty. So he does maximize the execution pretty well, gets the stick bonus, gets a 9, but it's a very low score. Oka Shinnosuke, 14.666, that is a little better than qualification, and he is in the lead. Let's have a look at Shi Cong's vault, indicating that he's going to perform a roche. And indeed, that's what we see.
And a very good one, too.
A lot better than the qualification score of 12.366 by 1.6 marks, 13.966. Little jarred landing, a slight sense at the ground found him than the other way round, but still very, very good. They are hopeful that they might see success from not just one but two gymnasts from China. Now this is interesting, Caio Souza indicating that what he's going to do is to add that half twist of the body to the roche we just saw and give us a Dragulescu.
And there aren't many in this all-around final who are capable of such difficulty on vault right now.
Well, he is. He certainly is. A Dragulescu from Caio Souza. That might move him up. Well, yeah, there we go. I'm saying it might move him up into the top 10. It's done exactly that. 14.133. That's way up from qualification. He's gained close to a full mark. The Seleção Brasileira watching on. It's not often that athletes actually get a moment of downtime at a World Championships. Watching their teammates compete in a final is one of those rare moments of downtime for them. Alba Petisco, we just saw for a moment there, the silver medalist at the European Championships in the all-around competition earlier this year.
Momentous for Spain. And next to her, Arthur Mariano, the 2019 world champion on horizontal bar, looking thrilled perhaps to see himself on the Jumbotron.
13.966, Anthony Monsard. That is a gain of virtually a full mark. He scored 13 in qualification. At the halfway stage, the Olympic champion is in the lead. He's taken over from the other Olympic champion from the one before. Hashimoto Daiki drops 2. Zhang Boheng is up 5 positions. Caio Souza's up 4. Daniel Marinov is down 9, courtesy of those that performance on rings that was quite low in difficulty. A big mover, unfortunately, is Joel Platter in the wrong direction. He drops down to 18th place. We have Oka, Zhang, Hashimoto, and then the leader of the chasing pack, the captain of the peloton, is Anthony Monsart, and Jesse Moore is in joint 5th place. We've got 3 people in 5th place. Jesse Moore, Shi Cong and Noe Seifert. It's going to be one of those all-around finals, isn't it, Blythe, where we are tracking a lot of people right the way through to the conclusion.
And amongst the top 3 right now, what a fight.
And Monsart is, I would say, slightly a breakaway rider from that peloton, to continue my road cycling analogy, because you've got Oka, Zhang and Hashimoto who are out in front. There's about half to 2/3 of a mark separating the top 3. Monsart is just 1/10 below Hashimoto in 4th place. You've then got half a mark between him and Jesse Moore. So all of those 3 in joint 5th place are half a mark behind 4th position. I hope that was as clear as mud. Monsart is going to be on floor to start the second half of this final. All of them getting ready to embark upon rotation number 4.
Earlier this week, and Spain now for exercise.
This is our first chance to see Tieno Diallo of Spain, who was 16th at the halfway stage. The 24-year-old, born in Conakry, the capital of Guinea. Very experienced gymnast, somebody who has been a European Championship medalist.
Very talented twister as well. Opens up with a front layout with 2.5 twists as a side pass. Rather unusual, but some gymnasts do opt to do their side passes at the beginning.
Every time I see Tieno Diallo perform, I'm reminded of the fact that he discovered gymnastics due to a council program that allowed school children to try different sports. He actually started in futsal, and then, in his words, he was very bad at it, and then went into gymnastics. And it just makes me believe so strongly, you have to have pathways for young people. You have to give children opportunities to try things, to not like them, to like them, to hate them, and then discover they actually love them, as some people do with sports. But we've got to give people the chance to become outstanding. And that's what his high school did, Funabashi Municipal High School, one of the greatest sports high schools in the world. Hashimoto Daiki, it's no surprise, it's no coincidence that he came through that school, which is so used to handling elite athletes and making them thrive academically as well.
Incoming Kasamatsu with a double twist.
I thought he was going to hit his head on the roof of the building. What
he
elevation!
Can fly. And particularly with this vault. In some of his other successful all-around competitions, particularly 2 years ago in Antwerp, he went on vault, and that's where he took off.
Angel Barajas just lurking outside the top 10 at the halfway stage. But it would be no surprise if he pushes up now, because this is his portion of the competition. Parallel bars first. He's very impressive on this apparatus.
This routine is just loaded with difficulty. He does a lot of original, complex work. Underswing to 1 bar. He maybe could have held that handstand on 1 bar a fraction of a second longer before going into the Healy turn out. And that's just marvelous. intricate pirouettes and a double front in the pike position. Wonderful.
It's sumptuous gymnastics. Really delightful to watch. Tieno Diallo, 12.333. Quite similar to his score in qualification. Hashimoto, 14.466. That's a little drop from qualification by just under a tenth. Certainly, this is a gymnast capable of scoring that sort of number on vault. The stark contrast between the difficulty that Daniel Marinov will attempt on vault compared to what we saw on rings. This is where he, having dropped down, could fly back up. We've got a 5.2 difficulty in store. Very good.
The same vault that we just saw from Hashimoto Daiki, the Kasamatsu with 2 full twists. He goes onto the table sideways and then twists the other way. Look at the open out. He's got so much time to spot his landing.
Doesn't he keep his heels so nicely together in flight as well?
His foot form is particularly good, and not just on vault.
Noe Seifert, 14.533 in qualification.
It's a bit conservative, but hey, it's stuck. Double twisting Yurchenko, and he will pick up the 1/10 of a point bonus for that stick.
But interestingly, 13.733, he is well down from qualification by 0.8. Zhang Boheng, next to compete on vault, 14.333 in qualification for the gymnast in the silver medal position at the halfway stage of this men's all-around final. You're watching Jakarta 2025, the first ever championships of the world to be held in Southeast Asia. Another very nicely performed vault. Another good score coming.
Yes, indeed. Now, the difference between him and Hashimoto Daiki on this apparatus, on this occasion, is going to be the landing.
14.233 for Angel Barajas. It is almost the same as qualification, a drop of not quite 1/10 of a mark.
And the all-around world champion of Kyushu 2021.
This gentleman is extremely accomplished on the parallel bars. Shi Cong won the silver medal at the last World Championships and the bronze medal at the 2021 edition. He scored 14.4 in qualifying.
The Chinese are world-renowned on parallel bars. He shows us why right off the top. It's like, where did that bell, that double tuck between the rails, even come from? He's so quick. Meticulous in the execution as well. Look at the way he flies up to handstand and seems to freeze the position. Smooth Bavsar.
On the apparatus, silky smooth from Shi Cong with a slightly incongruous dismount that didn't feel like it fitted with the rest of that very poised routine. 14.3 for Daniel Marinov on vault, just 1/10 down from qualifying. He's currently in 5th position. Oka Shinnosuke, the Olympic champion on this apparatus, but only 13.266 in qualification. This, Blythe, is now the big phase of his all-around final, because next is floor, where he really struggled in the preliminary stage.
Let's see if he is able to erase the memory of what happened in qualifications on these next 2 apparatus. His first big test is a Cassina, and it is lovely. Now we'll see the Coleman, same thing in the tuck position. So far, so good. More than good, really. And look at the Liukin now. It looks like he might have improvised slightly, swinging out of that. Normally, men do giants, full giants out of it. And speaking of giants, this is known as a Czech giant. And look at the handstand. That, too, is really special, actually, out of that skill.
Oh, what a competition he's having. Oka Shinnosuke, the 12th best performer in qualification. Zhang Boheng is in the lead, 14.2 at the vaulting table. Into the bronze medal position at the moment with 13.866, but 3 penalty tenths. Shi Cong. Jesse Moore, one of what feels like about 30 gymnasts in joint 5th position coming into this particular rotation. 3 of them tied in 5th place. Moore, Schur and Seifert. He's really been performing well in this final, Jesse Moore.
It was so interesting to watch him in training with this routine earlier this week. He actually does quite serious visualization work. And to see him do that on the ground, not on the pommel horse, it almost looks like a dance, like martial arts. And as we've seen a time or two today, the brush of the horse, well, it's a significant deduction, but it's less than he gets for a fall. And he's done really well to just keep the routine going, shrugging it off. You don't shrug off much on pommel horse.
The physics of that was extraordinary from Jesse Moore. It's like somebody grinding to a halt on a bicycle and then immediately picking up speed again without a single wobble left or right. It just defies physics.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Well, I was due one. 1 in 10 years isn't bad. Oka Shinnosuke, look at that, 14.4. He's gone into the lead.
As soon as he was done with the qualification, he went back to talk to reporters and he vowed revenge for what happened.
Well, however he serves that dish, hot or cold, and whatever accompaniments go with it, he served it. Krisztofer Meszaros of Hungary, great all-around gymnast, the bronze medalist at the European Championships in Germany. Comes into this rotation in 8th place, and he's very good on floor.
He has gorgeous attention to detail, as evidenced by that opening pass and the stuck double pike. There's a lot of elegance to the work of Meszaros, but what has won him European medals on this apparatus is the way that he can anticipate the landings and stick them much of the time. The scales do look steadier than they did early on in the year. He cast that one just a bit too far out, though. He'll have 1/10 of a point in penalty for putting 1 foot out of bounds.
Never let us forget that Krisztofer Meszaros was 9th in the all-around competition at the Olympic Games in Paris. Very impressive as an all-around performer.
He just does not give the execution judges much to take from him. Even in the height of his tumbling, his legs are together, the positions are really well defined, and he just puts his feet down and doesn't move.
13.633. Jessie Moore is in 6th place. That is an improvement of a mark and a quarter or thereabouts from qualification. Anthony Monsard, can you believe it? 4th place coming into this rotation, the gymnast who was 16th in the preliminary round. In 2 of his 3 performances so far, he's improved. The one that he didn't improve on was only a 1/10 drop. The others have been a massive increase. He needs a big one here, though, because he scored 12.6 in the preliminary round.
Floor exercise is one place where actually he's still developing. The tumbling is not as difficult as we see from many of the competitors. But he really is having such a wonderful debut World Championships. We really can't say enough how much potential this young gymnast has.
One of the things that a lot of athletes say is there's a very interesting balancing act between being young and being experienced, because when you're experienced, you're more mature and you understand how to handle big competitions. But when you're young, you're not scared. He is performing at the moment, Anthony Monsard, with an extraordinary degree of disrespect to the size of this occasion. And that, I mean, that in only a positive sense. He's ignoring almost that this is the championships of the world, and he's just going out there and doing lovely gymnastics, and well done to him.
The insouciance of youth.
12.433. That will be the big one to develop over the course of his all-around career. And it's a very young all-around career. It wouldn't be a surprise to see Monsard drop away now in the second half, because he doesn't have as high difficulty upon which to draw. So there'd be no shame in that. Doesn't mean necessarily that he's had a bad competition if he falls away. 13.366 for Meszaros. Caio Souza, top 10 at the moment, but this is very much a signature piece for him.
He does something we'll see from nobody else in this competition if he opts to throw it. Right here, double front between the rails, caught with the upper arms. That's why he's wearing those black armbands. The double tuck skills on parallel bars are an element that are back in vogue. The difficulty has been increased for them. The technical committee feels that they're quite spectacular and wants to encourage gymnasts doing them.
Black armbands. His mother's original aspiration for him was black belt, because she sent him to karate when he was a child. He didn't enjoy it in the slightest. Caio Souza, 13.833. In his karate classes, he just climbed the walls. He's climbing the table at the moment, climbing the leaderboard. He's so respected by the Brazilian squad. 32-year-old Caio Souza. 2 rotations to go. Oka Shinnosuke, Zhang Boheng and Hashimoto Daiki, non-movers. At the top of the leaderboard, Shi Cong is up. He's gone into 4th position. Anthony Monsard, a drop of 6 places down the leaderboard. And we look at the remaining gymnasts in this 24-strong field, the men's all-around final at the Jakarta 2025 World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Ollie Hogben here with Blythe Lawrence alongside me. We've got 2 rotations to come, And we've got Hashimoto Daiki on the parallel bars. He scored 14.266 in qualification. On the horizontal bar, Shi Cong, 14.133 in qualification. That could be a very important score for his quest. These are the gymnasts who will be competing on floor. The first to go, Ryu Sung-hyun, the gymnast who qualified for the Olympic Games through the floor route in World Cup competition. These are the gymnasts on the pommel horse. Anthony Monsard will be competing there. He's down into 10th place now, having been 4th earlier on. But as we said, we expected that. That's absolutely fine. He's still not yet 19. Just to give you the numbers in a little more textured detail, Oka Shinnosuke 56.598, Zhang Boheng 56.1, so about half a mark of difference between them. Hashimoto 55.998, so he is there certainly. Shi Cong, the gentleman who we're about to see, 54.798. So there's almost a full mark now. Let me try that again. There's just over a full mark now between 3rd and 4th place. 1.2. So that peloton now is starting to drift away. Shi Cong, 4th position. Can he push into the top 3? It's going to need something very special and maybe a little assistance from somebody in the top 3. But he's really capable of a big number on this apparatus.
It's a very smooth Takemoto skill to begin the routine. That sort of stoop through with the half turn. And this is a combination that we're seeing from a lot of the top gymnasts right into a Coleman release. There's his Cassina. Sometimes with the Chinese on horizontal bar, they prefer to get their difficulty by doing a lot of pirouetting skills, check giants, things like that. He takes a lot of risk.
And it may well have paid off. Shi Cong having a very compelling final. He was the 5th best in qualification. Your reigning champion of the world in all-around gymnastics, Hashimoto Daiki, and the Olympic champion from his home games in Tokyo, but only 3rd position at the moment. Will he be priced out of the market in his bid to make it 3 in succession?
He's being tested tonight much more than he was in the qualification round by his own teammate and by Zhang. Parallel bars tends to be one of his best events. He takes the risks and he reaps the rewards. Beautiful flighted front straddle somi. He needs to maintain his concentration now. The Bavsar is very good. How about the Tapelt? Now the dismount, double front, half out normally.
That was such an impressive display from Hashimoto Daiki. He's dangerous when he gets to the end of a competition. He thrives under this sort of pressure. He's talked about wanting to lead as a next generation gymnast, wanting to cultivate a love of the sport in young people, wanting to be a role model. 14.433, Shi Cong, up by 3/10 from qualification. What a thrilling final this is. Now then, this might be the single defining moment of this final. Oka Shinnosuke is leading. The Olympic champion now steps onto the floor where in qualification he scored 10.3. It really didn't go according to plan.
He started well in the qualification, and he starts well here. It was really towards the end of the routine, the last two passes, where things just came unglued.
He, by the way, has to finish on pommel horse, which is not an ideal conclusion for anyone aspiring to win an all-around world title.
And an open question is, when floor exercise is so late in your competition, how do you handle that, especially when you've been sick? This is the pass, and once more, that's where it went wrong in the qualification. And once again, it has gone wrong in the final.
Well, now he just has to get through the remainder of it with as much accuracy as he can to try to maximize this score, but it's going to be far from what he hoped. At least he's okay, because that really was a very uncomfortable looking moment for the Olympic champion, Oka Shinnosuke, who we remind ourselves has been really unwell.
It's a 2.5 twist into a front layout, and he just avoids, it looks like, grazing his head. You take a real risk when you keep that layout position after a twisting skill. Glad he's all right.
14.433 for Hashimoto Daiki. That puts him into the lead. One wonders how aware he is of what has just happened to his own teammate. They're in different groups, they're not working round together, but it's every athlete's own personal preference, how much they want to know what is going on out there in the rest of the competition, how much they want to be shut away in their own little world. Now to Krisztofer Meszaros of Hungary on the pommel horse, 8th coming into this penultimate rotation. And he scored 12.233 in the preliminary round. Did win a silver medal at his home World Cup in Sombate on this apparatus recently.
Meszaros has been hugely inspired by the great Hungarian pommel horse worker Krisztofer Meszaros, who won the Olympic title on this apparatus in 2012.
Krisztofer Meszaros was presenting those pommel horse medals at that World Cup in Hungary, as if anyone else would be presenting them.
And there is maybe in Meszaros' swing just a little bit of Berkey.
Nice to see him in action, the 24-year-old Krisztofer Meszaros. 4th time at the World Championships. He was 11th in the all-around competition in Antwerp. For Oka Shinnosuke, 10.3 in qualification. We'll come back to him as soon as we get a score. We'll go to Jesse Moore, 6th place. He's having a very fine competition. He was the 19th best qualifier. Now he goes to the rings where he scored 12.233.
Let's go, Bobby, come on!
Let's go for floor exercise again.
Kip to Maltese to begin the routine, and a press to handstand. All of these strength elements should be held for at least 2 seconds. A little bit slow on the Yamawaki, perhaps. Oh, and that is basically going to count as a fall against Jesse Moore.
Did extremely well to try to rescue that, but as you say, Blythe, a lot will be deducted.
It will.
11.866. It is better than qualification by a mark and a half, but now Oka has dropped down into 4th position. I did say that Shi Cong would need some assistance from somebody in the top 3 to break into that top 3, and he's now found that. He's in 2nd place behind Hashimoto. Zhang Boheng's got a real chance to win this whole thing. It would be his second World Championship all-around title. He scored 14.266 in qualification. We've just seen Hashimoto score 14.433.
There's a slight struggle in the handstand right off the top of this routine. That was lovely, though. Good front straddle somi. And dismount, double front half.
Do we find ourselves once again enjoying one of the great rivalries of this generation, Hashimoto versus Zhang? Has the rest of the field cleared away to put the spotlight on them? And if so, which of the two will take it? Meszaros, 13.666. It is way better than qualification by almost a mark and a half. So he's up into 6th position. Caio Souza, 7th after the last rotation. It's very interesting. In the past, we've seen Caio Souza, particularly in the 2021 World Championships, start as a real contender and then fade away because he had real trouble when he got to pommel horse. We now might be seeing it go in the other direction because of him starting on this apparatus. He's very good on the horizontal bar.
He's capable of a lot of difficulty, but just wait until the dismount, which is spectacular. He's already done a Coleman in combination and a Cassina. Both of them very well flighted. Layout Katja, right into Ginger. Catches the Ginger a little bit close, and that is his workaround because he would take a deduction if he did a very bent arm giant. But here goes the triple back.
Oh my goodness me! That might be the moment of the final. That was absolutely extraordinary. What a landing. 13.866 from Caio Souza. He is in 6th position.
How many years have we watched him on the international stage excelling? How long have we waited to see him do this?
6th position no longer. Zhang Boheng has changed that because he's into 2nd place with that 13.933. The only thing is that is down by about 1/3 of a mark from qualification, and it gives Hashimoto half a mark advantage in that rotation over him. Now, what about Noe Seifert? Could we see him start to creep back up? Because he's very good on this, and he's very good on the horizontal bar too. 14.066 in qualification. Bronze medalist at the European Championships last year.
Begins with a clear hip circle and then an underswing to a half twist. This is all very complicated. Now that he's gotten the pirouetting skills, the underbar skills out of the way, he can really let himself swing in the latter half of the routine. It's a construction we're seeing from many gymnasts. There's the dismount, double front.
Certainly pushing back upwards now, Noe Seifert. Big horizontal bar routine coming up for him next. He was the second best in qualification, remember. And it's not necessarily that he's done particularly poorly in this final, but some of those lower gymnasts have found that one or two big gain points that they needed. On the subject of big gain opportunities, Angel Barajas heads to the horizontal bar. Silver medalist at the Olympic Games in Paris, the first Colombian gymnast to win an Olympic medal.
He is a true flyer on this apparatus. We'll see a couple of very original things. First one right here, Stalder into Liukin. Ollie Hogben's mouth dropped open at that. Winding up for his Casina. Wow, what a catch. His arms fully extended. And the Coleman. Oh my goodness. And then there's what we saw earlier, just without the full twist, Stalder in Kachev. Oh, this is so beautiful.
Stunning. This young man is stunning. What a pleasure to watch him on this apparatus. 14.6, half a mark up from qualifying. You said my mouth dropped open. It stayed open for the rest of the routine.
It did.
Yes, it was a literal jaw dropper, that one. Jesse Moore, 11.066 on the rings. That's unfortunately seen him drop right down the standings after what's been a very impressive campaign. Daniel Marinov, 11th after the previous rotation, but it would be a surprise if he stays there because he's very good here.
Sit back and be entertained by this exercise. It's smooth, it's fluid, and it's got a tremendous dismount. Beautiful pirouetting skill. And then a full twisting double tuck off the side.
There's no way he is going to be outside of the top 10 after that performance. He'll certainly move up the standings. Norwegian flags flying for Sebastian Spunovik, who's in this competition. 14.7 for Marinov. He's in 6th place now. Half a mark better than qualifying.
The judging support system of Fujitsu have already started to encourage coaches and gymnasts to use the system to improve their element quality during training, contributing to the development of the whole gymnastics world. This is the first time for us to show the judging support system.
We are about to begin the last rotation in this men's all-around final. The time really has rather flown by. Noe Seifert, 14.066, exactly the same as qualifying. So he's in 4th place. A very interesting picture as we look at the leaderboard, as the last calculations are being completed by the judges, and we'll bring you the intermediary standings. What we do know is the top qualifiers are going to make their way to the horizontal bar. And that's where we'll see Hashimoto Daiki. The standings after the 5th rotation, with 1 to go, Hashimoto has 4/10 or thereabouts over Zhang Boheng. Shi Cong is in 3rd position. Noe Seifert leads the peloton, and he is half a mark away from Shi. So there's a little daylight on the leaderboard, and there's certainly quite a gap between 2nd and 3rd place. Zhang has just about 0.8 of a mark over Shi. And I just remind you that Hashimoto and Zhang are going to conclude their campaign on the horizontal bar. Shi Cong is going to finish on floor. Not quite necessarily as high scoring potential for him on floor as the likes of Hashimoto and Zhang have on the horizontal bar, but Zhang Boheng didn't have the easiest time on horizontal bar in qualification with a 12.333.
It was the only place during his qualification campaign where he really made a major error.
Now let's look at where else the challenge for the podium might come from. Noe Seifert is going to go to the horizontal bar as well. He is in 4th position. That's achievable for him to get onto the podium. Angel Barajas is going to go to floor. He scored 13.266 in qualification. He's in 5th place at the moment. He may need a little assistance from those above him if he is going to challenge. But wherever he finishes, he's certainly got a very good chance, or however he performs, he's certainly got a very good chance of being the best Colombian performer in recent memory at this particular occasion, the World Championships in an all-around competition. Josimar Calvo was 10th in 2014, for example. Certainly he has the potential to challenge as well, but it feels as though something will need to happen internally within the top 3 for anyone, 4th, 5th and 6th, to make a push. They'll need some assistance, and the horizontal bar can provide some assistance when you need it. Daniel Marinov is going to start this final rotation at Jakarta 2025. It's the opening day of finals at this history-making Championships of the World. Let's see what he can produce.
You're going to see a large release skill, but cast too far back, and alas, off he comes.
And regrettably, we have to be frank and say that probably removes Daniel Marinov from contention. The 20-year-old has run a good race. But the top of the leaderboard has got too many big contenders to mean there's much of a chance that that isn't going to be hugely costly, because he needed something beyond what he'd produced in qualification. Lots to enjoy about his work.
There is. It's a nice demonstration of how to perform difficult skills well, frankly. The Stalder work, the release skills, the Kachevs earlier, and then this very nice dismount.
Lots of fluidity. Unfortunately, that first big release move, the undoing of Daniel Marinov. What of Caio Souza? He's gone up and up and up the leaderboard. The veteran Olympian, 13.1 on floor in qualification.
Excellent. Front layout full to double front. Can't ask for better than a landing like that. Or like that.
He thinks you can.
And he was right.
Oh, it's quiet and tense in this building. That's where actually having the composure to hold that Y scale is really important.
2.5 twist to front layout. It's the same sequence we saw Oka Shinnosuke struggle with. It's been very good.
And then, so unfortunately for Caio Souza, the hands go down on literally the last moment of his entire final. He puts his head in his hands. He's done so well. What an effort. And there, for all to see, is the agonizing, undulating, twisting and turning drama of an all-around final laid bare. Daniel Marinov, 12.233. For now, that has him in second position, but there's a long way to go. Zhang Boheng, 12.333 in qualification. He needs to gain about half a mark over Hashimoto if he is going to win this, but more than anything else, he just needs to stay on because he had problems in the preliminary round.
Nice Liukin, but caught very close and has to kip off. So there will be a few small deductions associated with that, both for kipping and for coming so close to the bar. There's his Casina. He's safely through that. He's putting in the work to get the difficulty score that would be competitive.
He showed unbelievable physical strength to get back up from that position, landing so clearly under the bar. That will do better than the qualification phase, there's no doubt about that, but how much better? Caio Souza, 12.366. He's currently in the bronze medal position, but he is unlikely to remain there. Now to Oka Shinnosuke on the pommel horse. Dropped way down after that problem on floor.
It's a well-controlled entry into the routine, the scissor to handstand. And maybe this is the moment to just take some time and admire and appreciate his technique and his form on this apparatus. He does the circles, he does the flares, he travels up and down the horse. What about the dismount?
Elite athletes are human beings as much as we're all human beings. When you're ill, you're ill. When you're not quite as you want to be, even the very finest athletes are affected by it. He has not been in the greatest of health of late. He scores 13.333. He does go into the lead. It's been a great effort from Oka Shinnosuke, considering his own admission that he hasn't been feeling too well. Amazing to think it's actually his World Championship debut as a senior. Zhang Boheng is in the lead, 14.3. So that's just a small gain of about 2 marks compared to qualification. That ought to do the trick. But how close will it get him to gold? There's now a 2.5 mark gap between Zhang and Oka. Well, he's had a complicated time on this apparatus of late. Noe Seifert, he's wonderful to watch. At the European Championships, when contending for a medal, maybe even the title, he put his hands down on the dismount, ended up finishing 6th in the all-round competition. He had the same problem at the Paris World Cup. That was quite recently, but he was excellent in qualifying here.
The Takamoto skills have been good. Really perfectly re-grasped Coleman at the end of that. Piped Kovac, very nice. Here's his Czech giant. And a Stalder out of it, very smart. Dismount will be triple back.
Big moment for Noe Seifert, he's up, and he's landed it! The triple back gets him back in business. Well, the Swiss are thrilled. Could he possibly mount a chase for the podium? Angel Barajas, what a pleasure to watch him. He's had a great competition in the chasing pack coming into this last rotation. 13.266 in qualifying.
And what makes him so exciting to watch on floor exercise is not just his talent and technique, but the skills that he chooses. They're not what everybody else does. 2.5 twisting double tuck, and wow, that was wild. Good to see that he is all right and continuing on. That actually, the full twist to prone position, is one of the skills that you can do that fulfills the requirement for doing a scale on floor exercise if you don't want to do a scale.
It's unusual, isn't it?
It is, but we are seeing more and more of them. Gymnasts are reading the newsletter that comes out, that's published by the Men's Technical Committee. Whip 2.5 to front layout, well handled.
Whatever today brings, the future continues to be incredibly exciting for young Angel Barajas, for all of his many fans, not just in Colombia, but worldwide. A lot of positives to take away from this. Krisztofer Meszaros of Hungary, he'll finish his campaign on the rings. At the moment, we have Zhang Boheng in the lead by 2.5 marks over Oka Shinnosuke, with Daniel Marinov in 3rd place. We still haven't got the score in yet for Noe Seifert. That will change things.
Meszaros shows a steady planche to open up this exercise. Good press to handstand as well. The swing giant handstand, no problem. The good Jonassen. His dismount, double twisting, double tuck. What a nice competition Krisztofer Meszaros has had here.
He's not just good to watch from a scoring point of view, he's nice to watch gymnastically. Makes you feel very calm when he's performing. 12.866. Virtually the same as qualification. Noe Seifert, 14.1. He is currently in the silver medal position, a mark and a half behind Zhang Boheng. Hashimoto Daiki need to score in excess of 13.9 to go into the gold medal position. In qualification, he scored 14.4. This should be completely within his grasp.
And in qualification, he got that number despite a small mistake on his Coleman. That, however, is way out of handstand, and it's going to cost him a bit in execution.
He's got to really get it back together now. And he has done.
It's not over yet, though. Liukin. bends his arms on the giant that comes out, but he hasn't made a major mistake.
In pursuit of 3 in a row, Hashimoto Daiki! The coolest, crispest landing that you could ever have hoped for on such a huge stage. Has he got the numbers to go ahead of Zhang Boheng in this wonderful rivalry that has enthralled us for years? Angel Barajas in 4th place, 12.8. Here's a major contender. Shi Cong now finishing his campaign on floor, 13.333 in qualification. He has been the Asian champion in all-around gymnastics. He's been a medalist at the World University Games in the all-around competition. What about World Championship honours?
The opening tumbling pass was good. It was difficult, but it also came with a hop forward that probably cost 0.3 of a point in execution. Same thing with that landing. They are small things. A hop here, a step there, a bit of compression in the chest landing low, but they do add up.
He scored 13.333 in qualification. He is likely to need a few tenths more than that if he is going to get onto the podium.
Double pike.
Now that's an unfortunate moment right at the end. Quite a few back paces from Shi Cong. Is it going to be enough, or is it one of those occasions where there were just too many incremental deductions here and there? The exact number that he's going to need is not clear at the moment because we're still waiting for Hashimoto Daiki's score to come in. But one imagines it's going to be over 13.5. That could be a very big moment in the career of Noe Seifert.
This horizontal bar routine was just a case of getting it done. There's another look at the Liukin. And again, when he grasps the bar and when he swings out, he has to bend his elbows and kind of do this handstand push-up over the top. Talk about incremental deductions. It's not his best routine, but he did a nice job of avoiding like a major deduction, such as a fall.
And isn't that what the great champions do?
Indeed.
Even at their worst, they're better than most people's best. And it's that ability to take something that's not quite right and keep it at not quite right without letting it slip into wrong. He waits. He waits. Noe Seifert waits. Zhang Boheng waits. At the moment, it's Zhang, Seifert, Oka, 1, 2, and 3. Now, Shi Cong has gone into the bronze medal position, but Hashimoto's score is still to come in. And I can tell you that that means that Noe Seifert is guaranteed an all-around medal at the Championships of the World. Zhang Boheng leads on 84.333, but he's just won 3 in a row. Hashimoto Daiki enters the Hall of the Immortals. 3 in a row. Like his hero, the great Uchimura Kohei. How many more for Hashimoto? And Noe Seifert, you did it! On the big stage, everything came together and you showed the world what you've got. Banished the memories of that 6th place at the European Championships. From his lowest point to his highest point in the space of a few months. The Swiss flag flies high for Noe Seifert. Oka Shinnosuke, great effort to finish in 5th position, a great effort. Zhang Boheng about 8/10 behind Hashimoto Daiki to take the silver medal. That's the best moment of his gymnastics life. And it's lovely to see, isn't it, Blythe, that Noe Seifert can put together that big performance when it really matters? Because that's been the question mark.
After such turmoil earlier in the year, it all went into this moment. And what a moment it is for him.
Shi Cong narrowly misses out. Just over half a mark separating him and Noe Seifert. A real raising of the standard as well in this final. Hashimoto winning with 85.131. 83.065 was his score as the top qualifier. Zhang second, 84.333. 82.499 was second in qualification. Third in qualifying was 82.331. It was 82.831 in this final. So that is a collective embracing of the occasion by the gymnasts of the world. And it was a pleasure to witness.
Before the competition, Hashimoto had 3 words for the Japanese press when they questioned him. He said, "I will win."
Hashimoto Daiki lives up to his promise. He wins his 3rd consecutive men's all-around world championship title. Zhang Boheng wins the silver medal, and Noe Seifert takes an extraordinary bronze for himself and for Team Switzerland. Just getting there ahead of Shi Cong at the end. Congratulations to all of them. All of these gymnasts who played their part in such an entertaining men's all-around final on this first day of televised finals action at the Jakarta 2025 World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. And we'll bring you very soon the victory ceremony. Don't go too far away. Let's remind ourselves of how the race was run and how the medals were won.
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for the men's all-around final will now begin.
The first scenes of celebration in Jakarta on day one of finals at the 2025 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships.
Representing Hungary, Krisztofer Meszaros.
It's now time for the victory ceremony for the men's all-around competition at the World Championships in Jakarta, and we start with the 8th placed athlete, Krisztofer Meszaros of Hungary.
7th place, an individual virtual athlete, Daniel Marinov.
Daniel Marinov finishes 7th.
Sixth place, representing Colombia,
Colombia's Angel Barajas with a fantastic performance. The best result for some time for his nation. Best in living memory. Oka Shinnosuke rebounds from being 12th in qualification to finish 5th. Shi Cong from the People's Republic of China finishes 4th. Great effort, and he came very close to the podium. Noe Seifert is the bronze medalist in the men's all-around competition at the World Championships here in Jakarta. The greatest moment in his career.
second place, and silver medalist of the People's Republic of China, Zhang Boheng.
Zhang Boheng of the People's Republic of China wins the silver medal after yet another engrossing head-to-head with Hashimoto Daiki. Hashimoto Daiki, 3 in a row. An unbelievable accomplishment from someone who is still only 24. So how many more? That's the only question. How many more? Because with Hashimoto Daiki, the sky's the limit.
The gold medal is presented by Houston's FIG ambassador. The silver medal by GP FIG Men's Technical Committee Vice President. The bronze medal by Ita Yulianti, President of the Indonesia Gymnastics Federation. And the fourth of the 8 places by Sri Sundari Kendrana Ayu, Secretary General of the Indonesia Gymnastics Federation.
Those all-important medals presented Time for the photographs and time in just a moment for the national anthem of Japan.
Please stand up for the national anthem of Japan.
Kimi ga yo, the national anthem of Japan, played in honour, yet again, of that gentleman. Thrice in succession, 3 times in a row, the all-around champion of the world. To win it once is extraordinary enough, but to do that borders on the outrageous. There they are, the medalists in the men's all-around competition at the World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. The history-making first Southeast Asian World Championships taking place in Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia. As the medalists depart, so do we, but not for long. This is just the first of 4 televised days of finals at the World Championships. We'll have the women's all-around final taking place tomorrow. So do please join us for that if you can. It will be wonderful to have your company. Until then, it's goodbye, but not farewell.